Mel felt a stabbing pain in her chest, like her heart was cracking apart all over again. She stood up, fighting tears. "Be right back," she told Pops and Kevin as she headed to the cabin. She didn't like anyone to see her cry. Mel hadn't wanted to come to Glacier this year, but Pops said they had to keep up their tradition. They always came to Glacier for 2 weeks in the summer. Mom would want them to be here, Pop said. Dad agreed. "You love Glacier, Mel," he reminded her. "I think it's going to make you feel better." By better, Dad meant Mel would want to do something other than sitting alone in her room, that she'd want to see her friends, play softball, go bowling, anything. But Mel didn't want to feel better. She didn't deserve to feel better, since it was her fault Mom was gone. Mel pulled open the door to the cabin as her mind flashed back to that snowy December night. Her friend, Teresa, had wanted her to sleep over. Mom said no because the roads were too icy for driving. Mel begged and pleaded, and finally, when the snow had stopped, Mom had agreed to take her. They pulled out of the driveway. The skies had cleared, and the snow seemed to glow. Mom started to sing, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, your boat," and Mel started singing along as if it was one of their funny traditions when Mel was a little kid. Whenever they were alone in the car, they'd sing together. The dumber the song, the better. They were still singing when Mom rounded a car. The car hit a sheet of black ice. They spun around and around and around, then skidded off the road. The driver's side of the car smashed right into a tree. It was all over in seconds. Mel sat down in a kitchen chair. Dad was wrong. Being in Glacier made her heart even more, because everything here reminded her of Mom. Every sparkle up on Lake McDonald, every breath of the sweet air, the song of every bird that sang from the pine trees. This had always been Mom's favorite place, and Mel's too. This cabin had been in their family for more than 60 years. Pops and his dad built the cabin back before Glacier was a famous national park, packed with people. Mel looked around. The cabin hadn't changed much since then. It was still just 4 small rooms and a porch. It had no electricity, no running water. They slept on cots, read by lanterns, and collected rainwater in a big barrel. The toilet was in the outhouse. But as Mom used to say, who needed a fancy house when your backyard was 1 million acres of Rocky Mountain wilderness? Look in any direction in Glacier Park, and you'd see something that made your eyes pop open wider. A turquoise lake, a waterfall tumbling down a cliff, ice-covered mountains soaring into the sky. Now, guys, before we continue, in the comments, I want y'all to tell me what this word is. I don't exactly know. I think it's aqueous. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but let's get back. Mel wished she was back home in Rissington, where she could close the door, turn out the lights, and try to forget. "Mel," Kevin bellowed, "Papa's going to tell another story. Come on." Mel took a deep breath and headed back outside. She didn't want to upset Kevin. "Okay," Pop said, "I have a story to tell, an animal way more frightening than a wolverine. To me, anyway. Because one of these nasty critters attacked me one night." Kevin's eyes grew wide. He had climbed back on Mel's lap. "Tell us, Pops." "Oh, I don't know," Pops said, pretending to change his mind. "I don't want to scare you." "I am brave, Pop." I am very, very brave, Kevin exclaimed. Mel cracked a smile and held Kevin in a little bossy pest of a brother. Oh, wait, no, a little tighter. What would she do without her loud, bossy pest of a brother? All right, Pop said, but don't say I didn't warn you. We're finally here. Chapter 3. This happened a very long time ago, Pop began. I was maybe 10 years old. Mel looked at her grandfather, whose face was lit up by the firelight. He had white hair, a matching mustache, and skin that was all crinkled like an old map. It was hard to imagine that he'd once been a kid like her, but there was an old photo of him hanging on the wall in the cabin. Little boy Pops, with his buzz cut and freckles. He was proudly holding up a big trout he'd caught in the lake. I was walking through the woods, Pop went on. Not too far from here, maybe half a mile up the lake. I was heading back to the cabin, whistling some silly tunes, ringing my lantern, not a care in the world, until I heard a noise just ahead. A noise I've never heard before. Pops leaned in forward. It sounded like this. He clacked his teeth together. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. Was it an alligator, Kevin asked. He loved alligators. Most kids had teddy bears. Kevin loved with the stuffed alligator their Aunt Cassie had